What is up, dudes? Welcome back to the channel here for another LEGO review. This is another LEGO Marvel Spider-Man No Way Home set, a continuation to the Statue of Liberty set, and this set is the Spider-Man vs. Sandman Final Battle set. This set retails for about almost 40 bucks, and that is insane. Is it worth it? We're gonna find out, and I'm gonna spoil you right now. It's not that worth it. But before we get into the review a little bit further, here I have an announcement. Subscribe. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it is appreciated. And of course, if you're down there, I have my socials down in the description below in case you were curious or something. But today we're taking a look at this set. This is a 374 piece set, and it retailed, like I said, for about 40 bucks. So is this set worth the 40 bucks? I don't know, but taking a look at the box art here, it's nothing special. It's pretty much the exact same thing we've seen all the time. Nothing crazy going on here, but here is a better look at everything going on here. The front of the box is pretty much the only interesting thing, maybe the back of the box as well. Everything else is just kind of basic. We've seen all this before, nothing crazy going on there. Barcodes, legal info, nothing else. The back of the box does have a little bit more information on what you can do with this set, and it's pretty cool overall. The instructions are basic that we've seen before. The little character that follows you around is the lizard, so that's pretty cool. And of course, you do have your little set list of parts. The minifigures are the weakest part of this set, I will say. This is not good, I will say. This Spider-Man we have seen with the Statue of Liberty set that we did take a look at on the channel, and it's the exact same thing. I think it's the integrated suit. This figure is cool. I like the front printing, the leg printing, but I wish that it had side leg printing and especially arm printing. That is definitely what this figure needed, but I've already rambled about this figure before, so I'm not going to go too much into it. This figure does have the little web shooters, which you pretty much just lock on to his little minifigure hands and get ready to fire away at your opponents. So just simple as that. I don't care for this set, for this Spider-Man suit, but I feel like it is expected to have it, so I'm glad they included this suit at least, so I like that. Then we have the Electro figure, which I believe is a downgrade because the electric pieces on the back and at the arms aren't as extravagant as the ones in the Liberty set, but I will say that these ones do stay on better. But you can see the printing on the torso does look nice. I like the head printing. I kind of wish they had a normal head, and at the back you can see some more printing without the entire backpack thing going on there. Kind of wish they did give him arm printing as usual and maybe some wiring at the legs, but it's not bad. I would have preferred a Lego Sandman over this, but it's whatever. And then we have the brand new Lego Lizard figure, which is the first ever lizard figure that Lego has ever made, from my understanding. And this is horrible. I really don't like this Lego Lizard. I think that it is pretty bad. There could have been some improvements with it, but first of all, the printing. I like the printing of the torso. I think that looks nice. The face, I'm not a fan of at all, and I really don't like those minifigure legs. I really wish they used the gremlin legs that we've seen forever ago. I don't care for the printing at the back either. I think the scalings just look a little odd. Kind of wish it was a little bit more subtle than like the dark green lines. That is just kind of me. I don't know what you guys think about that, but man, I just wish that this figure was better. Those gremlin legs would have been so much better, and maybe a sculpted head sculpt like they do with the aliens for Spider-Man. I think that would have been really good. The tail is fine. I do like how they has the tail, but standing them next to like a Spider-Man figure, the lizard I feel like should be taller than Peter Parker here, and I guess you can make the tail kind of gives them just a tiny bit of height, but man, this figure just does not look good, but it does kind of complete the set of villains, and they do look good on the display stand, which does look like a very cool set. I actually really do like the way this set looks. It's nothing crazy, but it's just a small little diorama set. It is small, to be honest, I will say that. So is it worth the 40 bucks? Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you this right now, no. This is definitely not worth the 40 bucks. I bought this for, I think it was 20 or 19 because it was on sale, and I just needed it because I wanted to complete the Liberty set, but it's not bad. I do like the minifigures being all in there, but taking the minifigures off of this stand, It does look a little bit barren, but I like it. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It has some nice pieces that make it look diorama-y. You know, I like the scaffolding and the kind of pole going on there. I don't remember what you would call that. You can take the Sandman off if you want to. He is just kind of plugged into the base there, so we can kind of take a look at everything else going on without any mini figures or big figs going on there. And I really do like it. I like the scaffolding that's kind of thrown to the side. I really do like the way that looks. I think it is really cool, and it's kind of held together by like Technic pieces, so I think that's nice. And I like those kind of pieces holding the legs. The legs look like they're bent. Then you have this entire little pole here, which is pretty nice. I like this tiny little thing of scaffolding on the side here with the little fire extinguisher. I think that looks nice. It's nothing crazy, but it's a small little detail. And then of course you have all the Sandman pieces just kind of dripping onto the base. I think that's pretty cool. But man, this set is nothing crazy. And at the bottom, there's nothing in there, just somewhere to put the Sandman. Yeah, this is not worth 40 bucks, I will say. So is the Sandman the saving grace? I will say that the Sandman is definitely the best part of this set. It's not by much, but it is the best part of this set, and it's definitely not worth 40 bucks. I'm going to keep saying that. It's not worth the 40 bucks, but it is a pretty cool little build. I wish, though, that the face didn't have the nose. I mean, I knew they were trying to add some detail into this faceplate, and I do appreciate that it is printed and not a sticker, but I would have preferred a build-a-figure minifigure like they did with Ant-Man in the original airport battle set. I would have preferred that a lot more than a kind of brick-built action figure, but I like the detailings of the head overall for what it is, but man, it just looks a little odd. It looks cool, but it just doesn't look Lego-like. There are these little pieces here that you can see at the neck that are stickered, and you can see it kind of on the torso there. And I like the way this looks, as much as I really want like a Lego brick-built figure. It does look cool. I like the proportions. I think it looks nice. I like the use of those kind of spiky looking bricks to make it look like the sand's going off to one side. I like the abs as well. I think that's funny. The back of the figure is nothing to write home about, but it is pretty cool. I think it just looks cool, but I would have preferred something else. The arms do look nice. I do like how the arms look. I like the hand on this side using the bionicle arms here, and they are posable as well. And then you have this bigger hand, which is a pretty big brick built hand, which I really do like, and there's so many options for posing with this hand, so I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, something very cool, and I really do like the way it looks. So here is Spider-Man being held by Sandman, so I think it is a pretty cool effect. It's nothing crazy, but it does look pretty nice. As for posability for the Sandman himself, he can look up that far, down that far, has some side to side and a little bit of swivel because it's on a ball joint. His shoulder piece here is on a hinge joint, so I think that's pretty cool. Arm can go out that far and down that far, has a rotation, which of course, because it's on a ball joint, it can swivel. Has a nice bend at the elbow, nothing crazy, it's just a single bend, but it doesn't go flush all the way down. Has a swivel at the hand with a ball joint that goes up and down. The hinge joint at the fingers are very nice. I really do like that. Can get them into a pretty decent fist pose, so I really do like that. At the other hand, it's pretty much the same. It has everything going on there, but just the hinge joint at the fingers are, I guess, a little different because it's brick built, so that's pretty much what it looks like when they're all thrown down like that. So I think that's pretty interesting to look at, but that's pretty much all where the posability goes. You do have this little part here, which I guess you can say it's swivel at the wrist or waist, so that's nothing crazy there. And you can plug him right back into the base, and I think it does look pretty nice and stays pretty well flushed, so I do like it. So with all of this being said, is this set worth 40 bucks? No. But will it be worth 40 bucks when I combine it with the Liberty set? Because it is advertised that you can combine these two sets together and we can make the ultimate Liberty battle set. So how do you do this? Well, I'm gonna show you. So first of all, you can take this entire top piece off. You remove this Sandman arm, which is just plugged in there by a little joint, so it's nothing crazy. and you take your Sandman off of the display stand that he is on, and you pretty much just plug him right in. Now you do have to make sure that his torso is facing that direction. And that's pretty much how he's gonna be able to fit. And you just plug him right into the only spot he can, and boom, he is ready to go, and he stays nice and flush. And if you need a little bit more context, here is a little bit more in the instruction booklet. And yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And also you can add in the scaffolding if you want, just to add a little bit more flair into your set. So I think that's cool. It's being held on by the other scaffolding that we have there. This piece was very hard to find. I couldn't figure out exactly where to put this entire pillar. I had to watch an Ash and Flash video to see if he figured it out, but this is pretty much where you put it. It doesn't look correct, but it's pretty much the only spot the instructions have it. I mean, I can't think of any other spot it could be at, and it doesn't say anywhere on the instructions. So if somebody else knows, let me know, because this is pretty much as good as we're gonna get. You can switch the figures around, of course, to actually make them be able to see, but here it is completely done. This is how it was meant to be, and honestly, it's pretty cool to see everybody all together. While I'm not a fan of most of these minifigures, and definitely not a fan of the inclusion of the lizard and how badly they did him, not really the inclusion, but I just wish they would have done better. I think it does look cool overall. I do like the way it looks, and I like the Sandman just being at the top of the Empire State Building, or not the Empire State, the Statue of Liberty. So I think that's cool. The only things that are left out are these pieces, which kind of suck, but you can put the little spider web here, and you can use this little Sandman hand just to be placed somewhere on the side of the build. But as for everything else that we have here on the base, that's pretty much it. So you're left with these two kind of big things that you can't do anything with, and the minifigures, because we already have those minifigures. So what's the point of having them? So what do I think of this set? Not worth 40 bucks. I'm gonna give this probably 3.5 out of 5. Nothing crazy. I don't think this set's worth it. It's definitely not worth 40 bucks. 20 bucks, maybe. We can talk at 20 bucks, but 40 bucks, really? You gotta be kidding me, man. This is far beyond something that's worth 40 bucks, and I definitely think that they are lost their marbles thinking that someone would pay this much. I bought this set mainly because it was on sale for 19 bucks, so there was no way I was paying 40 bucks for this. But if you guys do like this set, that's up to you, I guess. You know, you can like this set if you want. I'm not a fan of this set, but it is pretty neat. I do like the big Sandman. I think he is cool. The lizard could have been so much better, and the inclusion of Electro and Spider-Man I think are fine. I would have preferred Electro be switched out with a minifigure of Sandman. I think that would have been really cool. And Spider-Man I think was a decent choice. That's like a save choice right there. Would have been cool to see like maybe somebody else, like another Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield instead of another Tom Holland, but I don't know, just would have been cool. I don't know, but I think the Spider-Man was fine. Just could have done better with that lizard. But that is pretty much it for this video. I have nothing else to talk about with this set. This was a fun video to make, but this set just did not hit. This is not a set that hits, but it does look cool on the Statue of Liberty, and that's where I will keep it. And the display base that he is on, or he was originally on, will be put in storage forever because I'm not taking that thing out. I like the set for what it is, just definitely not worth the price, or yeah, it just could have been a lot better. But that is pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think of this set down in the description below. But that is pretty much all I have to say. I hope you guys did enjoy. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Love your show, and I'll see you guys in the next toy review.